Russia attacked Ukraine with an Iskander-M ballistic missile and 293 drones of various types in its latest assault on June 3rd, as Ukrainian air defenses claimed to have downed 264 drones out of them. Although some strikes were recorded, the Iskander-M missile was reportedly launched from Russia's Voronezh Oblast, while the drones were launched from Russian territory and occupied Crimea. Ukraine's defense forces said aircraft, anti-aircraft missile units, electronic warfare assets, unmanned systems units, and mobile fire groups were involved in repelling the attack. The development unfolded as at least 4 people were killed and 10 others wounded in Ukrainian drone attacks on Crimea, according to local Governor Sergei Aksyonov. The strikes damaged several non-residential facilities in the city of Simferopol, reportedly killing at least 3 people and injuring 7 others. The Crimean port city of Sevastopol, home to the headquarters of Russia's Black Sea Fleet, was also targeted overnight, according to local authorities. Russia was also hit by another major Ukrainian drone attack overnight, with the country's defense ministry saying that 272 drones were shot down across its territory. Moscow had previously warned that it would conduct systematic and consistent strikes against Ukraine's military infrastructure, including drone production facilities, command posts, and decision-making centers, in response to attacks that Russia characterizes as terrorist acts. Russian President Vladimir Putin, for his part, has said the Ukrainian leadership had opened a new chapter in its crime spree with an attack on Starobelsk in the Lugansk People's Republic. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told a Senate subcommittee on June 3rd that there would be news pretty soon regarding approximately $400 million in military assistance for Ukraine that had been approved by Congress, but delayed at the U.S. Defense Department.
The $400 million that we appropriated to help the Ukrainian people fight this war has bounced back and forth. Is it finally resolved? Are we going to send this to the Ukrainians?
The $400 million?
Yes.
That's going through the interagency process right now. In fact, I saw maybe last Friday something on it. I think you'll see news on that pretty soon.
Rubio also warned that the risk of escalation in the Russia-Ukraine war was real, more real than it was 2 years ago. Ukraine is hoping that U.S.-mediated peace talks with Russia could produce results before winter, as officials are growing increasingly concerned about shortages of anti-missile systems, amid indications that Russia may be preparing a new mobilization effort. President Volodymyr Zelensky recently told lawmakers from his party that Kyiv saw a realistic opportunity to end the war. Ukrainian media reported. Kirilo Budanov, head of Ukraine's military intelligence agency, later publicly echoed that assessment, saying it was realistic to end Russia's war against Ukraine before the winter of 2026. Recent expert assessments and public debate have increasingly suggested that the momentum of the war may now be shifting in Ukraine's favor. Russian offensives have seemingly slowed, while Ukrainian long-range strikes appear to have intensified and expanded deeper into Russian territory. Several assessments also suggest that Moscow has failed to achieve its key battlefield breakthroughs it had previously sought. The head of Ukraine's military intelligence agency, for his part, has described the objective of ending the war's active phase before winter 2026 as correct, timely, and realistic, while maintaining that the country possesses the capabilities necessary to pursue it. Budanov, however, has also maintained that any outcome would depend on Russia's willingness to engage. According to Ukrainian officials, Russian forces have struggled since late 2025 to convert heavy battlefield losses into significant territorial gains. Recent battlefield assessments indicate that Russian advances have slowed considerably, while some Ukrainian counterattacks have regained limited territory. Ukrainian military commanders, reports suggest, have identified a roughly 6-month window during which Kyiv could potentially improve its position before entering more substantive negotiations. Zelensky has linked that assessment directly to diplomacy, arguing that Russia has been losing some of the initiative it previously held. and that the period before winter presents an important opportunity to pursue negotiations while maintaining military pressure. Reports suggest that Ukrainian drones have in recent times increasingly targeted Russian oil terminals, energy infrastructure, military facilities, and logistics networks far from the front lines. Zelensky recently argued that these operations have helped place Ukraine in a position where it can negotiate as equals, while damaging sectors that help finance Russia's military campaign. Ukrainian officials who spoke to local media believe that the strikes have complicated Russian military planning and imposed growing economic costs on the Kremlin. Ukraine also faces the prospect of another winter at war. Previous winters have seen Russia target Ukraine's energy system, electricity generation facilities, and civilian infrastructure. Officials believe that securing even a partial reduction in hostilities before winter would help reduce pressure on the population and critical infrastructure. Peace efforts involving the U.S. and other global powers have repeatedly stalled, while the Kremlin continues to maintain military pressure, arguing that battlefield developments support its position. For now, analysts say that Ukrainian discussions about ending the war's hot phase before winter do not reflect expectations of an imminent peace agreement, but rather a strategic assessment of military, diplomatic, and seasonal factors shaping the conflict.
Fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.